Welcome please to the JVG podcast, where these G's are gonna spread their seeds of knowledge about the league. It's flourishing with these. These funny catchers seem to be well read, esteemed and honest. Like the man himself, Jeff Van Gundy. They are high IQ, so cerebral and funny. So if you're on the bus, just border on the dunny. Listen to the
JVG NBA Tribute Show.
Welcome to episode 130 of the Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show. I am your host, Lukas, joined as always by my co-host, Marco. Mark, how you doing today?
Hey, good, Lukas. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Bloody, what, you filled up your car today or something?
I filled up my car. The last three double-digit... No. The last three even-numbered episodes, I filled up my car on the way. And I think one of the times I told you... I told you about how it just drove me so crazy that I wished that there was a purge.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's how we got onto the purge.
Yeah. That's how we got onto that unscripted conversation. The other time I think was unremarkable. This time today, went out 2 for 3 for remarkable petrol fill-ups.
Yep.
I went to the... So, like, I filled up to halfway because I don't do a full tank of gas. And every 2 weeks I just fill up to halfway. And I went in to pay, and I don't know what was going on, but to my understanding, there was a stranger trying to gift the man that worked at the petrol station a fucking mango.
What?
He was just like, take it. And then the guy working there was like, no, stop, no. And then he like gestured to me when I came into the petrol station, and the guy who was trying to give away the mango was like, oh, fuck. And then like got out of the way, and then I paid, and then I left. And then as I left, he goes back to like try and like barter this.
Wait,
like
what?
I think he was just trying to give him a mango.
But like, so he was trying to give him a mango, and then you went to pay, and he stepped to the side. And he paused trying to give him a mango.
Yeah.
So why did he want to give him a mango so badly?
Well, that's where you come in. Well, I was just like so perplexed. I was like, what is going on? This is now an annoying strike rate of annoying shit to happen to me at this petrol station. And then on the way after the petrol station, I was on St. George's Road turning right to U-turn, and you know exactly what happened. No one went.
Wow.
Because there were cars banked up in the middle, and the lights changed.
Oh, pay attention.
5 people all beeping the same person. They still didn't move. And I was like, I bet you this person's going to fuck it up for everyone. And God, did they...
They didn't move at all.
They didn't move at all until the very end. And then...
They went through and no one else got through.
A few of us definitely were in the grey area of the law.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if the person behind me went, because I was like amber, if the person behind me went and they were red, I would have definitely stood for them in the court of law.
Oh, yeah. But that's like, it's just the perfect shitstorm on that corner, because it's also one of the most notorious red light cameras in Melbourne. I've got a red light camera and I'm a bloody law-abiding citizen. I would never do anything wrong by anyone unless there was like a purge or something, something of that nature.
Do you want to wind it back to that mango fella for a second?
Oh, yeah. So... was he trying to pay for his petrol with a mango?
No. So the only piece of information I can add is that he just came in off the street.
He came in off the street.
He didn't have any products with him that he was trying to take.
Right.
He was just trying to give this mango.
It wasn't a goods and services sort of transaction. It was just a donation.
It was
a gift.
It was a donation.
Can you describe this man?
Yeah.
Think carefully here.
All right. So he was about 6'1". I want to say he looked like he was 65 to 70, but he was probably 55.
Yeah, right, yep.
So
okay.
Life had got the better of him.
Yeah, didn't need enough mangoes.
Yeah. Skin was... He was probably from around where my family's from.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more northeast.
That's good. It makes the accent you were doing, like, okay.
Northeast of, let's say, Macedonia. But like, you know, tan, but with like quite a lot of spots. And I don't want to call them moles. I just want to call them like unhealthy spots.
He had the speckles, mottled skin. How about that?
Let's go with that.
Let's
go with that. And then grey facial hair with like crusts throughout it.
Oh my
where,
God.
you know, it feels like alcohol has stained.
Yeah.
So if you see him, keep your eyes peeled. Oh, not if you see him. Keep your eyes peeled for him, though.
Free mango.
Free mango.
I mean, what would you what would you do in the cashier's shoes? Would you take the mango?
Yeah.
Hundy.
Oh yeah, thanks. See ya.
Yeah, like so it also just gets them out of your hair.
Diffuse
straight
the
away.
situation. There
Yeah.
you go.
Unless it escalates the situation. Like you take the mango and like, this mango, let me tell you a story about this mango.
Yeah.
And then you're like locked in a story about
Yeah.
the mango.
And all you wish is that this man go.
Yeah.
Second
Yeah.
pun in a minute.
Holy shit, that was great. They were
Thank
both
you.
mango puns on it though, weren't they?
Yeah, one was
That's really curious. I don't have a read on that quite yet.
Yeah, no. It
gonna
was
have to
just
think
like
about it.
it was more just like, come on, like what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't do this.
He did get out of your way though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But that's not what we came here to talk about. Marco.
There's actually been a little bit of basketball news since the last time we recorded this podcast, but not the last time you recorded a podcast.
No. On Sunday, went on to the Deep 2 with Sean and Les, and we covered a lot of things, trade deadline. So if you want our extended thoughts on the trades, like specifically how we thought the trades went, then go there. But today we're going to take a little bit of a different direction, Marco.
Oh, we sure are, Lucas. No, but seriously, I was listening to that pod and I was like, yeah, there's nothing more. I mean, if I was there, I would have added something. But in retrospect, like I could probably... That could be fun, actually. Maybe you leave and I'll record a pod where I play the Deep 2 and then I pause and I say, that's exactly what I think, Sean. Well, I disagree, Alessio. But today, what we're going to do instead of, I guess, analyzing the specifics of the trade, we're going to look at how this moves the needle for each team. For teams that are trying to get better right now, does it get them closer to a championship this year? Does it open, does it widen or shorten their championship window? And then for teams that are rebuilding or trying to get worse, does this get them towards the rebuild? Does this get them an asset that will make them a better team sooner or a more better team? And yeah, I guess that's how we're going to look at it. Should we start right at the bottom of the dog heap?
I think we should start right at the bottom of the dog heap. But before we say that, happy Valentine's Day.
Hey!
Dude. Do we always seem to be recording on a Valentine's Day? Because the last one was the Harden trade, the Harden-Simmons trade.
Whoa!
I'm pretty sure.
Did we do an emergency pod for that?
We did, but...
No, we did an emergency pod for the Harden Rockets trade.
Wait a second.
God, James
Wait
Harden.
a second. Was that also...
February 14?
No, but for real.
No, okay, so... February, it's the month that has 28 days in it, right?
Not every year.
Except for the leap one.
Yeah, except for all the years that are multiples
Which
of 4.
2020 was a leap year.
Okay.
So...
Last year it wouldn't have been a leap year.
Last year wasn't a leap year.
The year before that it wouldn't have been a leap year.
But... Fuck, I don't know where I'm going with this. Actually.
Neither. I thought I was helping. I definitely wasn't, though.
But yeah, the days of the week...
Let's go. Let's get into it.
No, the days of the week are on different days every year.
That's exactly right.
So the only way this could have happened is if there was, when we used to record on a different night of the week.
Which was a Monday. Which checks out.
And then it was a leap year. So,
No. It wasn't a leap year. It hasn't been a leap year.
2020 was a leap year.
Yeah, but we started it late 2020.
Oh, we did.
So
Oh, it's 2023!
Yeah. What did you think it was?
Holy schmacks.
What did you think it was?
2022.
Damn.
Getting old, brother.
Yeah.
But did we record on the 14th both times?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking 2021, we recorded a regular episode on the 14th because it was on a Monday. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then 2022, we recorded an emergency one on February 14th.
I don't know if this checks out.
No,
I'm looking at
because-
our dates, our thingo right now. And...
Well, you said it.
I did, and now I'm starting to question my own... my own.
This is such good radio. We dragged him in. We did that. We hit him with the lead, and then we were like, but first, we're gonna try and figure out how the days work.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I know how to figure this out.
Yeah, I'm on Spotify, but they aren't by date.
I'm
It's
on
just
Spotify.
They're just by month.
We recorded on Tuesday, the 15th of Feb, in 2022.
Which
Checks out that's kind of how the days work.
Yeah, it doesn't go the other way.
And we recorded on Monday, the 15th of Feb. In 2021, we recorded an episode about Yeah, that's great. I keep all my notes. I keep every single one of them. We
mackerel.
recorded an episode about our favorite lockdown defenders.
That's right.
And then
Oh my God.
we did MVP and tier 1 players, and Bradley Beal is in the MVP paragraph for me for some reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, he must have been balling out.
He must have been like averaging 30 points a game or something like that.
I think it was. And it feels like just yesterday. Irregardless, here we are back on track and back in your ear hole. So yeah, as Marco said, it's going to be more about did each trade kind of support the direction of the franchise? And if so, how much so? Do you want to start with, I think you said you wanted to start with the Westbrook one?
Yeah.
And we'd make our way up on Spot Track.
So let's start with the Westbrook one. I think we've done a good job of not talking about the Lakers too much this year, like actually, for real. But I think we should actually talk about how this goes to the Lakers. So in this deal, the Lakers required D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. In a separate deal, they also acquired fucking what's his face? Oh my God, who did they get from? Oh, they got Mo Bamba. That's right.
Oh yeah,
they got Muhammad Von Bamba.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously this is like moving off the Westbrook contract, giving up one of those first round picks, and just getting a fucking haul in return.
Yeah.
I think this is like easily the most plus move the Lakers have made in a long time. In that it makes them better right now, and I think it makes them better like I think it extends their like window as well of like when they can be good, because if they re-sign D'Angelo Russell, okay, they got like a pretty good point guard who we're gonna see like how well he fits, but like I think the right sort of point guard to have next to like LeBron and AD. If they don't and they like let go of a couple other contracts, they've got like enough cap space to actually sign a good player and be like, hey. Jeremy Grant, if you're happy to take like, I don't know, a $5 million pay cut, you can come and play with LeBron James. For like the first time, I think they're actually going to be able to attract good players. For the first time since like 2020 or maybe 2021, they're going to actually be able to attract good players in free agency to LA, because they're not just going to have, a mid-level exception and a bunch of minimums. And they're just immediately better this year. Like, not that much better. I'm not under any illusions that this turns them into like a playoff juggernaut, but it might be enough to get them, the eighth seed or the ninth seed.
Yeah. Of all the teams that could use Jared Vanderbilt, the Lakers are the ones that deserve him the least.
Yes.
And watching the game on Sunday before we recorded over at the deep2.com, my God, he is just like, everyone bounces off him. And anytime players go up for a rebound, he never seems to be the one veering off his path. He always gets up higher than everyone, grabs it at the ball's peak. And he's just going to be so reliable on this team. Like, he's just going to be so handy on this team. And just cover up so many players' holes. And where like a lot of the Lakers, mainly LeBron and AD, just quit on possessions, and like we'll spend an opponent's transition complaining to the refs. Vando gets back, and Vando will like win a loose ball.
He does like double work on those plays that LeBron does no work now.
Yeah. And I just think that they don't deserve it. But this definitely extends their window, their championship window. It kind of brings it forward, because they weren't going to win this year, but they might look like contenders at the start of next year, especially with 30 games of this year, potentially a playing game. Who knows if they can make the playoffs? And then with the whole off season, I'm sure having a training camp with your team would help a lot. Yeah. And yeah, if they play free agency well, which they don't even really need to anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they only need, if they add one more, like if they add Jeremy Grant, because there is some smoke there, especially with Rob Pelinka saying that this trade deadline was pre-agency for Jeremy Grant. That's a weird thing to admit. Then, yeah, if they can add him and then like maybe just a better guard, a better like pure facilitator in the off season, then they're like so well situated to actually make a run for a ring. And I mean, the biggest part of this is that they got rid of Westbrook. Like, it was basically addition by subtraction by the end of Westbrook's time in LA, everyone was just like, just find a way to get him off the team. And not only did they do that, they kept one of the picks and they brought in 3 good players. And one of them is like a great role player.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And yeah, like D'Lo and Beasley, D'Lo's contract's out at the end of the season. Beasley's team option for next season. So like, it's this thing that they haven't had in a long time, flexibility. Like if you like the fit of both of them, fuck it, re-sign both of them. You know, if you don't like the fit of either of them, then yeah, you can free up 20 mil, 25 mil in cap space, like just like that. So first positive move in both senses for the Lakers in, I don't know, 3 years.
Yeah. And yeah, with D'Lo, I'm pretty sure they can sign and trade him because they'd have they'd be able to go over the cap. With Beasley, they can pick up his option and trade him, or they can not trade either of them, sign and trade, or pick up the option and trade. And then I think they might have like, I don't know how much it is, but it'd probably be around. Oh, Sean said today that they could free up about 20-ish million in cap space for a free agent, and they also have Mo Bamba's contract that they can that they can send the other way in a sign and trade. So yeah. They might be back.
Good work, fellas. Other teams in this trade, Minnesota, they got Mike Conley. Dude, it was a second round pick season this bloody season. Jesus Christ. And my favorite player, Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah. Do you miss him?
Not one fucking bit. New Orleans has been so much better since it hasn't been New Orleans. Yeah, how do you think this moves the window for Minnesota?
I think so. Also attached to this is, I can't remember who reported it. We talked about it on the Deep too, but a beat writer for the Minnesota Timberwolves just kind of shared that D'Angelo Russell was, I think you can just call it bullying Rudy Gobert.
Legit bullying him.
And so I think that, again, another addition by subtraction move for the Timberwolves. So basically, D'Lo was like complaining to teammates, complaining to opposition players on the court, complaining to beat writers, who then didn't leak it. So like, great job by the Timberwolves.
It must have been so mean that they were like, I can't say that.
Yeah, but it could have fucking made them bank. He could have, you know how much you could sell that story for?
Yeah.
But yeah, so D'Lo was pretty much just like bullying Rudy Gobert while he was there. So yeah, another addition by subtraction move. I haven't seen Conley play with the Wolves yet. Has he played with the Wolves yet?
I feel like he played one game.
I loved it. I was thinking about this today. At the start of the season, I think I watched the first 9 straight Wizards games.
Yeah.
And I was completely on track with every game.
Oh yeah, 100.
Now I'm completely on track with all the off-court stuff.
Yeah.
Cannot tell you what's happening on the court over the past
idea.
couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think also Mike Conley seems to be like the only core player of that Utah Jazz team who likes Rudy as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think they have a better relationship with each other. So, you know, on a roster where Rudy has like a couple of enemies, D'Lo wasn't the only one. I think like adding someone who's kind of on his team. Also, I think I said this last offseason, the Timberwolves need like a good vet. Like their last season, their vet was Patrick Beverley. And they were just too young and hot-headed to like, I think, really, you know, get it together for a meaningful playoff run as they stood. Obviously, like the Gobert trade kind of made all that redundant in a different way. But I think having like I can't remember who it was. It was Colin Sexton, who has played 5 months with Mike Conley. Was like, he's easily my favorite vet. Like he was such a mentor. He did so much good stuff for me. I think having like such an immediate effect on young players like that will be like really important for this Timberwolves team. Like, it will kind of intangible. I think it's a positive move. I don't think it really changes the overall equation of how good this Minnesota team is, though. Like, I think he's a better fit on the floor, but like, he's 35.
Yeah,
and he's not as good as he used to be. So like the Mike Conley as like the future of this franchise, I don't think it solves that issue. Like, he's not going to be a third, but he's not going to be the fourth guest. He probably will be the fourth best guy on the floor. Oh, I don't know. I actually don't know.
What are we saying? Eddie,
Rudy,
Cat,
Cat.
McDaniels?
Yeah.
But McDaniels, I feel like, has the freedom to not like quite a small role.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe that's
He's
unfair.
so good at it.
Yeah. So maybe that's unfair on Conley.
Yeah, whereas
though.
Conley kind of has... Conley definitely has to run this offense now.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Kyle Anderson
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
I think I still. Oh, actually, they could be on like similar plane. They're 1-1 in the Conley era.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves.
It's pretty good.
Today or yesterday, whenever they played the Mavericks, they won, which is.
Oh, yeah, it was today, yeah.
That's a pretty good scale.
Kyrie and Luka passed up the last shot to each other.
Damn,
Yeah,
no mindset.
Yeah, no mindset.
But Conley had 12 points, 9 assists, 2 turnovers. That's exactly what you
Yeah,
want.
exactly.
Which I don't think D'Lo was giving you, and maybe definitely Conley doesn't give them their point guard for the future. But I think he solves a problem, and I think D'Lo wasn't the point guard of the future. But maybe he can like steer the team in a direction.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they did
yeah.
seem quite directionless. Like
Definitely.
they even from the start of the season. At the start of the season, it's like, what are they building towards? And like 50 games in, it's like, still, what are they building towards?
Yeah.
Maybe now they are building towards something.
Yeah, and maybe that's, with D'Lo on the team, he takes up a lot of touches. With Conley on the team, he's going to take up less. Maybe when his contract is up, or you're like, all right, you're too old, that's the point guard you go for.
Yeah.
Is like, all right, well, if we're going to have Anthony Edwards, who loves having the ball, you're going to have Kat, who loves having the ball, and you're going to have Rudy, who just needs like a facilitator to be anything, to be any sort of impact on offense. Like, then you've at least got the mold for who you can look for in that role.
Yeah, I wonder how Conley will go with Kat and Gobert on the court.
True.
Time will tell.
I mean, he's a stand-up guy. That's all I'm saying.
And the other team involved in this are the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Who got Westbrook, the 2027 top 4 protected pick from the Lakers. Is that it? Is there a second?
They got Juan Toscano Anderson and
Oh,
Damian Jones.
Oh, shit.
I know.
Okay.
The war chest.
Was there a second as well for them?
Nah, it was just the first.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I feel like this was less than you could have gotten for Beasley and Vando. But then this could have also been like, let's just get them off before the trade deadline. Maybe doing good by the players. Maybe they were like, hey, get us out of here. And then, I think they could have got another first.
There was another first in there for sure.
Yeah.
I think the second Vando touched the court for LA as well, it was like, there was a first for him.
Yeah.
Which is a damn shame.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't not rate this for Utah. I think it's a good move. You get that could be a really good pick. We're talking about the Lakers championship window extending or coming forward. 2027 is definitely, I'm more than 50% sure that's after the window.
LeBron's 43.
Yeah. And killing it for the Orlando Magic. But like, you can't, it's steering them in the direction that they're meant to be going in. This was also them being like, all right, cool, we're going to be bad now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, this is a good move for the way they're going, but I don't think it's the best move they could have made.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd say two first is an A move. This is a C+ move.
Yeah. Good call. Next trade. Wow, this is a big one actually. Kevin Durant.
What?
Am I just telling you this? You've been under a rock or something, man? Oh, you bloody look like it. Well, so the big kahuna in this trade, the Phoenix Suns, we'll go through what they gave up, but they acquired Kevin Durant and TJ Warren. And I think they're like the best demonstrator of this exercise, as in they increase their championship odds exponentially, and they shorten their window exponentially as well.
I think they opened it up till this year as well.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think that they had a chance to win.
Absolutely not.
The 2023 NBA championship, but now they do. And I don't even know if there's anything to say about this. This is just like an A++ move for the Suns. They gave up. All right, they gave up Mikal Bridges. I'm not counting Cam Johnson. Mikal Bridges is a great role player, but the picks mean nothing. Jay Crowder wasn't on the team.
Yeah.
And Cam Johnson, I don't know, man. He's a good shooter, but fuck, whatever. Like and also people like talking about him defensively, but all I can remember is Luka fucking cooking him. And it's like, Luka cooks everyone. It's like, all right, well, he proved it against Cam Johnson. He feasted on him in that playoff series. So I don't know. I don't see the Cam Johnson loss as a big loss. Mikal Bridges is nowhere near the cost of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big loss, but I think anyone who's being like, yeah, like this Phoenix roster is too thin. I think you're just so wrong. I think this is like one of the top 3 best teams in the NBA immediately, straight away, without seeing them play together once. Do you think this meaningfully shortens how long they can be good for? Chris Paul's going to be done at the end of his contract. I just don't think he's going to be. I think he'll retire for sure. Kevin Durant, like, you really can't speculate on how his play is going to go down or injuries or anything like that. But like, you still probably only have till the end of this contract out of him as well. Then you don't have any of your picks, whatever. Like, we don't really care about that. You still could have Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. Like are them in 5 years? Is that still like a playoff team? You know, with other bits around them, with, you know, role players and veterans and what have you. Second round picks.
Potentially, they could be making such deep playoff runs every year that they're just like battle tested. Booker and Ayton, and they're just used to coming up against better opposition. So they just they kind of learn how to win rather than become better basketball players. But this could also extend Chris Paul's career because he doesn't have to play. He can play like,
to do anything.
Yeah, he can play like 20. He can play. Sorry, 20 is a bit low, but 40 regular season games a year. Be the most load managed player of all time, and then just play like be stellar for 20 minutes each playoff game.
You don't have to take a single jump shot. Like, you can be ground. Your knees will be fine. Like if you're ground bound.
Getting Kevin Durant just solves a lot of your team's problems. So such an affordable price for KD.
I think people are like, they've completely sold their future. And it's like, but they also have like a 24-year-old perennial all-star on their team who loves being in Phoenix. Who, like, at the very worst, if Kevin Durant's Achilles blow and Chris Paul finally gets arrested, like, you're still going to have Devin Booker, who's like one of the best scorers in the league. So definitely brings it forward. Like, they could easily win it this year, and maybe it shortens their window by like 12 months or something.
Just back on that mortgage away your future. I've got the points per game leaders in front of me right now. Here's one I prepared earlier. I'm just going to go top 20, bottom to top. Zach LaVine, Darren Fox, Anthony Edwards, Larry Markkinen, Julius Randle, Nikola Jokic, Pascal Siakam, DeMar DeRozan, Jaylen Brown, Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie Irving, Ja Morant, LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid. Now, I think one of those players was drafted by a traded pick. So the rest
Jason
of the...
Tatum?
I think Jason Tatum was the pick from the Nets to the Celtics.
You're a clever fellow, aren't
and
you?
all of those other players, unless Jaylen Brown was another one, irregardless.
I guess Zach LaVine was traded as a rookie.
But he was drafted to the team whose pick it was. You know what I mean? And Luka, Giannis, Jokic, probably the only 3 other guys on KD's level. Where's Steph? Oh, he hasn't played enough games. But like, since KD's gotten drafted, there's been 5 players on his level. No, sorry, since he's got drafted, 4. Doncic, Giannis, Steph. No, 3.
Wait, what?
I'm counting LeBron as the other player on his level who's drafted before him.
What about Jokic?
Jokic, 4. So, whatever you want to say.
What about prime Kawhi Leonard?
Let's just put him to the side for now.
Sorry.
But those 4 players, there have been 4 players since KD entered the league that are on his level, and 1,000 that have been drafted, 500 that have been drafted. So there's no price here.
And again, if we're saying over explaining this, but if Phoenix are like a bottom playoff team for the next 7 years, then those picks are shit.
Moving on to the Brooklyn Nets.
Now,
should we lump this in with the Dallas deal, or did we talk about that?
The Dallas deal.
With Kyrie.
Oh yeah.
So long ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Brooklyn. So
it's the city in New York.
So it's a borough. It's a borough, actually.
Sorry.
I don't know. I don't really know it's so hard to say what this does for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It slams their championship chances.
Yeah.
Shut this year, obviously.
It does the too small celebration and then stomps on it and squishes it into the ground.
But does it like mean they can do anything they want?
I think
for
so.
the future?
I think so. So they have 6 late first round picks coming in. And 4 good role players. 3 good role players. 2 good role players, 2 great role players. The great ones I'm talking about are DFS and Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
And this just puts them in like... This puts them in like the middle... You know that St. George's Road intersection that used to be a roundabout?
Yeah.
This puts them in the very middle of that.
Yeah.
And they get to control which lane gets to go. So they have just all the options in the world.
Such a good analogy.
So they could pivot in any direction now.
Yeah.
And I think that this is your Kyrie Harden to a lesser extent, but the Kyrie Harden KD era is over. And I think this is a pretty good price for it.
Yeah, considering... I think I said this when they made the Kyrie trade. Like, you made this deal with the devil and you didn't really have to pay the consequences. Like, you came out with like a pretty malleable situation instead of no good players, no picks, nothing at all.
Yeah.
I guess kind of after the KG trade, that's what happened to them. And look what happened there. They lost the one good player in the last 10 years who was drafted from a traded pick.
Yeah.
How about this? How soon do you think the Brooklyn Nets could be a contender? Like, what's the turnaround?
Realistically, I think 23? I reckon the 20... No, it's 22, 23. 24, 25.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so soon.
I think 2 Kaylee, you just start from the trade deadline and then do it today.
Yeah.
Because you can just choose to turn those players into a superstar.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
But I don't think that the Nets will do that.
No. It'll be a much slower process.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, that's a good point. That like there's actually the deal for a superstar just sitting there on paper already. Well, Dallas Mavericks, if we're counting them as part of this.
No, because we talked about them
we talked about
last week.
Okay,
we were just talking about the Nets.
Fuck you.
Fair. Earned.
Fuck you, Dallas. Well, also lumped in on this trade, which I'm only just realizing now as part of the same trade. The Milwaukee Bucks also got Jay Crowder.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What is that?
There's not much to say here, I think. But
yeah. C.
Makes them better today.
Yeah, I guess.
Doesn't make them worse tomorrow.
low consequence move.
Yeah.
But could actually have quite good returns.
Yeah. Like it could win them a finals game.
Yeah, for real. If he goes 5 of 7 from 3,
yeah,
it could. Or if he goes 0 of 3, then you just have Bobby Portis you could put in there, or Grayson Allen or Pat Connaughton. They got so many options.
It's crazy.
So yeah, actually, maybe it's more than a C. It just adds another option that they can be called upon. And he becomes insurance, and then there is also insurance for him.
And he can guard like the 4th best player on the other team.
Yeah.
They can lock up the 4th best player on the other team. Indiana, I don't really want to say anything about their involvement in this trade, but they got George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Nwora, and 3 second-round picks.
I actually like the Jordan Nwora.
Yeah?
I actually really like him.
Yeah.
I feel like he could be maybe a 7th guy, but like if your 6th guy is a playmaker and your 7th guy is a scorer off the bench.
Yeah, I think Indiana have like gotten those young players off good teams who you're like, I don't really care about them, like Jalen Smith and what's his name?
Isaiah
Jackson. And who's the other one? The one who's like really handsome and he's always on the bench.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, they've gotten those sorts of players and they've sort of turned them into like okay role players on like an okay team. So you can kind of see the same thing happen with Jordan Nwora, I think.
Yeah, shooting 40% from 3 this year.
He's been good.
Shot 45% during his rookie season.
Yeah.
And also always shocks me, he's 6'8". I always think he's like 6'5" or 6'6".
Yeah,
No, he's a lot bigger than that.
He's a good size.
Not bad.
Moving up the spot rack here. So Jakob Poetl Jake Poetl made his way to the Toronto Raptors. And you can actually read about that on the deep2.com. We usually don't plug not our own articles, but it is our boy Will Conkin.
Yeah.
He has returned from beyond the grave.
Welcome back, Wilkin.
I actually haven't read it yet, so I'm not gonna comment on the content, but you should definitely go check that out because we love our brother from Kamloops.
Ditto to what Marco said. I still haven't read it. It did come out today.
It did come out today.
We both went from work to this.
Yeah, to a freaking basketball podcast. What do you think? What does this do for Toronto? And should it have?
I don't think it should have done this for Toronto. Who did they give up? Did they give up a first?
They gave up. They gave up a top 6 protected 2024 first and 2 seconds, and of course Ken Birch.
Oh, that's a bad move. I don't think. Like, why? Like, I think if you can't even find out why it's an F move. Because obviously Jake Poetl is a move you make to add wins. And is he the first center in Toronto since, since who?
Marc Gasol?
Yeah. Could you even call Ibaka a center? I guess he
Ibaka, yeah.
By process of the way the league went, he just became a center.
Yeah. But he was a good center.
Yeah.
Like he played at the 5 and he played it like a 5.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Pascal Siakam.
Yeah. He brings the 4 to the 5.
Yeah, he brings the 4 to the 5.
So I just think this was a bad choice. Yeah, I just think this is a bad move for Toronto. I don't think it makes them any more of a winner. I don't think this really changes their win-loss percentage. Or maybe it does, but not much. I think this is just a bad move.
I think it firmly stamps like we're not rebuilding. Like we're not kind of hanging around the edges, but it doesn't actually take you away from the edges.
Yeah.
You've just sort of said that that's what you're doing, but you know, you're not actually achieving that. So like, I mean, I guess, is there some sort of world where, you know, no, I don't know what's the prime situation. Like Fred VanVleet resigns and is good again, and then like you just roll out this team. Everyone kind of plays better than they've been playing this year. Because on paper / even 3 years ago, the starting lineup of Freddie, OG, Scotty, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poetl, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But like we know how they've been playing this year. We know how they've looked this year. We know how much chatter there's been around this team about trades and like, you know, people leaving in free agency and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So to be like, no, we're not going to do any of that. And we're just going to like kind of get only better enough to lift ourselves from like the 11th seed to the 10th seed. It feels so wrong.
Yeah. If it's a play-in push and you gave up a first-round pick, you look dumb.
Yeah. Well, unless you're the New Orleans Pelicans, of course.
Is that our next trade?
Huh? No. I was talking about the CJ trade last year, but
Yeah.
For the Spurs, do you reckon this is the best they could have gotten for Poetl?
No, I still don't think it's the best they could have gotten for Poetl. I think they could have gotten an unprotected first, or potentially even a first and an unprotected first and a protected one, or even 2 protected ones, because this is a protected first and 2 seconds, and Ken Birch. So no, I think they could have gotten more for Poetl. So I think this is like, maybe it's just a bad trade all around.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like a lose-lose, but it feels like
But
it feels like a
What's better? One top 6 protected
Raptors pick,
or 2 Boston Celtics first round picks?
It's a good point.
Yeah. Like if we're talking about long-term impact, maybe you get the 7th pick. I wonder what it conveys to the protected pick. Does it just keep going next year? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But yeah, like do you get 7 to 10 overall pick, or do you get 2 guys at 28? Like,
I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Next trade.
Speaking of Boston, Mike Muscala.
What did they give up?
They gave up 2 second-round picks and Justin Jackson.
Yeah, great move.
So good.
Yeah, I think this just turns good piece for their big depth. Like a guy that comes in as a specialist 3-point shooter, but was playing on a team that has much less playmaking. and space than the Celtics, and just a worse offense.
Yeah.
So Muscala could realistically shoot like, I think 45%. I would expect him to shoot from three. I think he could shoot 50% from three.
Wow.
Because they have, what's Al Horford? What's Anna's brother shooting from three this year?
I'm sure it's like not quite as good as we think it is, but I'm sure it's good.
42% from three.
42%.
And he was not like a shooter before he went to Boston.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still wouldn't consider him a shooter. But Muscala's coming in as a shooter, so like, you know, I feel like you give Muscala Horford's looks over the season, there's no reason that shouldn't be 50% from three.
Yeah, definitely. It's just like, again, it's kind of like the Crowder move. It's just like, oh, you just have another option.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to do anything for it. You didn't have to give up anything significant for it. The New York Knicks acquired Josh Hart and two players I've never heard of from the Portland Trail Blazers.
Who were?
Bojan Dubljevic
Oh.
and Daniel Diaz.
Diaz or Diaz? Diaz. Dubljevic?
Yeah.
I would assume that's how you pronounce it. But I also haven't heard of it, so I cannot be certain. And they gave up Cam Reddish in a second?
They gave up a top 14 protected first next year's
Oh
first.
my god, a lottery protected first and Cam Reddish.
And you get rid of Cam Reddish.
Yeah. That's great. Oh yeah, great dealing by the Knicks. Yeah, we talked about this. We actually had some good thoughts on this on the Deep 2, so go give that a click. But we haven't heard your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is New York being like, okay, like we're a good team, let's get better.
Yeah.
And let's like put players on our team who actually fit our team as well. Like I feel like they've been the most like ill-fitting team in the NBA since I started following the NBA when they had 7 power forwards. And yeah, like Josh Hart is such a good, if that's it, if it's Brunson at the 1 and Josh Hart at the 2, it's such a good combo. It's such a nice fit. And yeah, just getting the Villanova boys back together. You know, Mikhail, it's your turn next year.
I feel like Josh Hart is a floor raiser on the team, and he also just I feel like he covers up holes, or he makes it so there are less holes in the Knicks rotation. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they look. Because are they like just a shoe-in for the playoffs now?
They're pretty good. Like
32 and 27.
They beat the Nets today, and I think it brought them within like a game of them or something like that. So yeah, basically
they really turned it around at like the 50 game mark. No, maybe a bit earlier.
I think a bit earlier than
40 game mark.
Yeah.
Because they were like the Knicks of old in the first 40 games, and then like since then they've just completely turned it around. They look so much better.
They were like the Knicks of old, but Brunson was really good.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, he's really good, but like nothing was like kind of clicking. I think.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's all great. I love that. Like, I think Robinson's injured, and their center rotation is Jericho Sims and Isaiah Hartenstein. That's so fun.
Yeah, Jericho Sims. Where did he come from?
Yeah,
He's
legit. So there's 2 other teams to talk about here quickly. Portland, Cam Reddish in a top 14 protected first.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
I'm the biggest Cam Reddish fan, and it's like at this point he's still a prospect. Like he's still kind of finding his game / niche. And I don't know what the direction of Portland is now. The lottery protected pick, you know, not the best.
No.
And getting like for Josh Hart, I think it's a bit of a directionless franchise. I think it's a team that wants to rebuild, but Dame is like, "Nah, I'm staying," and they're like, "Oh, we love you, but you can go. We would recommend going."
Portland drafted 7th this year, or 6th,
goodness,
something like that. They drafted very high. They drafted a good prospect, and was it even higher? No.
Bless you.
Excuse me. And like that guy barely gets minutes. Shaden Sharp does not play very much for the Portland Trailblazers. I think he's been playing a bit more recently.
Pick 7.
Yeah. So what are they going to do with the player they draft 15th or higher? Like, this is like I think the worst thing about this is it like closes their window this year.
Yeah.
And that's like the only window they have, because like this team isn't going to get better next year. Fucking, if Jeremy Grant leaves in free agency, it's like I don't know, do they open up enough money to bring anyone else in? Does anyone else want to come in? Does anyone want to really sign a big contract with the Portland Trailblazers? At the moment, probably not. They got Matisse Thybulle in this trade, who I like him, but it's like he's almost like Josh Hart, but he can do less.
Yeah.
You know, like he's a better defender, and obviously he's got that behind block thing that he loves to do. But like he does everything else worse. Like Josh Hart can run the floor. He's so good on the fast break. He will shoot threes again eventually. And Thybulle can't do any of those things.
Thybulle can't shoot. I also think Thybulle's an overrated defender,
Yeah.
which hurts to say about my Australian brother. But
All defensive second team.
But if Josh Hart fills holes, Thybulle makes holes. He's the most backdoor cuttable player in the league. Like he just overplays so much, and like you get like a fucking half decent brain on an NBA coach, and they'll just backdoor cut him to fucking hell. And then that kind of his length and his ability to get in the lane, that's his strength. But when that's just able to get counted so easily, then he kind of loses his strength. And then those rear view contests are like phenomenal. But I think so I think pretty bad dealings by the Blazers this off season, and then also pretty directionless.
In this trade as well, Philly acquired Jalen McDaniels off Charlotte. I think it's basically giving up Thybulle for McDaniels.
Yeah.
And like I know that this is the shit McDaniels, but I kind of like it. Like I don't know what Thybulle's role was this year. Like I don't think for a young guy who you kind of really valued, and I think he had a really good defined role in all the Philly teams. It didn't feel like he had a future there, and so you're just getting in like a player that's actually going to make you better this year instead, and a young player as well. So I think this gets Philly closer to a championship slightly.
Yeah. Also, just you can't teach height, and Jalen McDaniels is like half a foot taller than Thybulle.
Yeah, and Embiid, the Philadelphia Embiids. They're sneaky short. Like, what's the drop from Embiid to Davon Reed?
Yeah. No, Willie Reed. No, not Willie Reed. What's his name? No, Willie Reed. Paul Reed. Yeah, Davon Reed is the Laker.
Oh yeah.
They have like the Suns build up where it's like, okay, Ayton is 7'2", and then KD is 7 foot.
Yeah.
But then like the drop from that is like it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Who else? What else? Are we going next trade, or are we sticking in with this?
No,
trade?
I don't think we need to talk about Charlotte, do we?
Perfect.
Sadiq Bey ended up on the Atlanta Hawks. I'm still confused about this move.
I don't know,
and
man.
surprised it wasn't vetoed. Atlanta. Could Atlanta be the new Portland?
Yeah. I don't know what this does. Who'd they get rid of?
They got rid of Kevin Knox and a whole bunch of second round.
Okay, well that doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah.
No clue. No clue what Atlanta's doing. I don't know if this. I don't know what you do with Sadiq Bey. Does he? Because I feel like needs more time. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's a pretty good price for Sadiq Bey, who's shown like he can be
Villanova guy.
Yeah. Who's shown he can be a starter. But like his play has been really weird this year. Like I feel like he hasn't impacted games like he used to.
Yeah.
And then where are you bringing him in on this team? Like you're bringing him in as an option off the bench, like over Hunter, or like is he starting over Hunter? Are you like starting him and Hunter? Are you playing him at the 4? Like, which I just think he's like kind of undersized to do. But and then like long term, is he eligible for his extension next year, or is he already signed an extension?
It's a good question.
Like I think you're kind of like Atlanta are locking into like a lot of quite young guys who aren't all that they're scratched up to be. Like Trae Young, okay, maybe Trae Young's fine next year, but like I think Trae Young can get played out of a game permanently. DeJounte Murray, like you've paid a big price for him, and he is young, but again, like he hasn't really proven that he's been worth it this year. DeAndre Hunter, you've given a big extension. John Collins is still getting paid a lot of money. These guys are all like 25 or younger, and you don't really know. Like none of them are really contributing to like the chemistry of this franchise. Like,
Yeah.
they're all
Yeah.
just kind of okay basketball players playing together.
Yeah, but they're not playing together.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
like togetherness.
No.
There's no connectedness. Sadiq Bey has the last year of his rookie deal next year, which is a team option for $4.5 million, which is good. That's pretty
definitely.
good value for a very inefficient player. And maybe he can like find a role in Atlanta, but I think maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way because they did give up Kevin Knox for him, and maybe I think that just like that asset play by itself is what they were going for.
Yeah.
Because Sadiq Bey is a relevant player and Kevin Knox isn't.
No. Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very true. Golden State here got Gary Payton II, who will be out for 3 months. And yeah, this is finally the trade that got James Wiseman out of Golden State. I think that's good by itself. I think like I think being like, okay, this guy isn't the the future of our franchise, like is good for the future of your franchise. Like you're like, okay, we're still hedging our bets with the young and old thing, but like we know James Wiseman isn't part of it. Which, I mean, it's shit. It's shit that your second overall pick is like that. But I think it's good to make a decision about it and then just open the window up a bit more this year. Now, if Gary Payton's actually going to be healthy is another question.
Yeah. Could you not have just done like Wiseman in a first for Vando?
Yeah, surely.
Gary Payton, Gary Payton fucking volume 2. We know how he fits with the Warriors. I'm sure he'll get back to that. I think I am actually a bit shocked that that's the deal that they ended up doing with Wiseman. But I do think it makes them better this year. But I still don't think it's hard to count them out just because of how much success they've had in the playoffs. So once the playoffs start, maybe they're just ready. But I still don't think that they're going to win this year, especially with Steph like just getting injured recently.
Yeah.
I was firmly on the belief that they should be gunning for next year, and just kind of burn this year. And I feel like I'm more and more right in saying that every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this was an interesting move by the Warriors. I think they could have gotten a better package for Wiseman, but I also think it makes them better this year.
It makes them better this year, but yeah, it might not be enough to like have an impact.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out if Gary Payton signed a 1 or a 2 year deal with Portland.
I think it was 2, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
feel like it was 28 over 3.
So that's good. As in, if next year's the year, then you have Gary Payton for sure. Like that might be, the one good thing to get.
Yeah.
Like, if he's injured and Steph's injured and you just can't make an impact in the playoffs, at least you have him next year and he's a good fit. And then like this kind of like 7-man rotation we've been talking about all year becomes an 8-man rotation and is a little bit better.
I think it is 27 mil.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, he's got 2 more years.
Yeah. God, I'm good.
Yeah, nice, Gary. Here, should we blaze through the rest of it?
Yeah.
We're flagging. All right, well, can do this one quickly. New Orleans Pelicans bloody traded away Devontae Graham for Josh Richardson.
That was your Christmas wish.
It was.
Come true.
It was.
Congratulations. Happy Christmas and Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
And New
Thank you
Year.
so much. Yeah, we got rid of 2 more years of Devontae Graham. And I think even if that wasn't like a tax thing or a cap thing or whatever, it's just so nice not to have him on the roster and Willie doesn't have to play him. Josh Richardson played today because he does play for us now, and he went 0-4 from 3, so that's pretty Devontae Graham like. And he had 5 steals and 2 blocks.
Nice.
And he just looks like he was just doing shit that Devontae can't do, man.
Yeah.
Like being a big body, a plus defender. He was even like doing some sneaky nice passes.
Yeah.
So I think just having another guy who's really well-rounded at basketball on our team, I think they're the players that like Willie Green does the best with.
Yeah.
Like he brings the best out of those sorts of players. And And yeah, I think it opens our window more this year. I don't think we're going to win a championship this year at this stage. And then, either we re-sign him or we don't. And the Devontae Graham contract's off our books either way. Also, two Twitter gods in Josh Richardson and Larry Nance. I think we must have the best vibe locker room to be in.
You're definitely up there.
Yeah,
I think especially bringing in Josh Richardson.
Yeah.
You know that photo of fucking Messi and Ronaldo playing chess on a Louis box?
Yeah.
So funny. But that's Larry Nance Jr. and Josh Richardson on Twitter. Who will win?
That's so good. And then Najee and Jose are just like ruining every post-game interview. Brandon Ingram's like and Zion, when he's playing basketball, he's smiling all the time. So why wouldn't you want to be there?
Yeah. I feel like judging like 8 players in a rotation against each other, I feel like Josh Richardson kind of unknots the knot that Devontae Graham caused, but he's not unknotting that knot because the knot's gone.
Yeah.
So you kind of have this relief of not having Devontae, and then also the reliever in Josh Richardson.
Yeah. Great analogy.
Thanks, bro. That's 2 for 2 of my analogies today, and 1 for 2 for my puns earlier.
Yeah, nice, bro. One of them was good.
Yeah. Well, they were both the same.
So I only laughed at one.
That cuts him in half.
I'm going to lump 2 Los Angeles Clippers deals in together here.
Okay.
They acquired Eric Gordon and Mason Plumlee in separate moves, and they lost Reggie Jackson. What do you think?
And they got Sean Bones.
Oh, and they got freaking Bones. Oh, that's 3 moves that I'm lumping.
And got rid of John Wall.
Yeah.
I think Mason Plumlee, we talked about this, more good words on the deep2.com. I think Eric Gordon is probably the best piece coming in for the Clippers. I'm going to say what I said on the deep2.com, so you may as well just go check it out. But he was just like, he's been so reliable in so many high pressure situations, Eric Gordon, that he's like a level of insurance for if Norman Powell has a bad playoff game, or I was going to say Luke Kennard, but he's also gone. Or if anyone else is having a bad shooting game from the backcourt, I feel like you can just chuck Eric Gordon on there, and you like if he takes 6 shots, you like that if Norman Powell or Reggie Jackson are having bad games.
Well, your Reggie Jackson's not there either. So.
Oh, fucking Jesus.
I mean, does it make them that much better this year though? Like I don't. John Wall wasn't working out. Reggie Jackson, good player, not having a good couple seasons. Actually. You're right. Eric Gordon's like very much more reliable. I like the Bones addition, but like I don't trust it.
I don't think it makes them better this year.
Yeah. But then, like, I think they're another team that's window is like it's open and like it's shutting quickly.
Yeah,
just because of how they have nothing except Kawhi and PG at the end of the day.
Yeah,
you know, like nothing is sort of certain apart from those two, and they're very uncertain.
Yeah.
So yeah, like borderline makes them better this year, but not significantly, I don't think.
Yeah.
Luke Kennard to Memphis. Just another good player on a good team.
Yeah, a good shooter.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when they don't re-sign Dylan Brooks, and someone should just punch him in the back of the head, man.
For sure, man. Someone's got to put him in the hospital.
He did another play today. He just punched someone in the stomach. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fucking, what a bad guy.
Legit.
I think he's like one of the few NBA players I actually feel like I actually want bad things to happen to. Like Zaza, for sure, was one of them. And then I think it ends at Dylan Brooks and Grayson Allen. Those 3, I'm actually like, fuck you guys. You guys, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I would never write a good word about them.
Fuck Dylan Brooks. Houston get off some money and get 2 players that are going to waive John Wall and Danny Green. So and they get a first for their trouble. So that's
good dealing.
That's like a Houston team that's kind of been not doing anything spectacular movement wise, or on the court. I like that. It's just a good minor deal that you do to get off money.
It's just another step along their way.
Yeah. What about Denver Nuggets? This was probably our last one. Getting rid of Bones and receiving Thomas Bryant.
Yeah. Another hate to say it, but culture move. Getting rid of Bones, like, bro, why are you making headline? You guys are top of the fucking West. Just play your role. You're the 10th best player on the team. Maybe you're a bit better than that. But you're like, just fucking... What's wrong with you? You have it made.
Yeah.
You have it made. You're on the best team in the West. Play 5 minutes a night if that's what you're being asked to do. So
Which he wasn't even being asked to do.
Yeah.
Like, he was playing, like...
He had so much
15
freedom.
minutes, like, where he could do whatever he liked. Like,
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're 6 years younger than Jordan Clarkson, but you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And then Thomas Bryant as well. I think, both removing Bones, good deal. Bringing in Thomas Bryant. They're both good deals, but unremarkable.
Yeah. I feel sad about the Bones thing, though, because, like, he is a good player. And
Yeah.
I think Denver were doing really well at, like, being a good contending team and maintaining young talent, like, just kind of quietly, And I don't think Bones Highland is the point guard of the future of any franchise. But, like, if you could keep him happy and he can back up Jamal for the next 4 or 5 years, or, maybe not even the next 4 or 5 years, maybe even the next, like, 2 or 3 years, like, that's just going to be a bonus you have every season. I don't know who's their scorer off the bench at the moment,
The Nuggets. Don't know. Thomas Bryant can put the ball in the ring, but I wouldn't necessarily call him a scorer.
No.
Unless you kind of like stagger Murray and Porter's minutes.
Yeah, that works. And because like you don't need Bones as a point guard. You needed him as like a scorer. Like Bruce Brown can run the floor when Jokic isn't on, which is so good.
Yeah.
So you don't lose that this season. But I just think like he was making this team better when he was not causing a fuss, I think.
Yeah. Good moves, Denver.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm going to call it there unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
No, we got an hour.
We got an hour, just like we do every week.
The dreaded hour.
All right. So, me and Lucas, we're going to go get a My Macca's app. So, a My Macca's deal.
So we have to go.
I'm really tired. We'll speak to you next week. We'll talk WNBA.
Yeah. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.